Sometimes it's nice to dream about a watch that you probably will never own. And although most of you will then probably dream about owning a Nautilus or a Royal Oak, I am sure that some of you will also dream about owning a watch from A. Lange Söhne. A watch that will probably remain to be a dream is this A. Lange Söhne 1815 Rattrapante chronograph in Honeygold, an homage to Ferdinand Adolf Lange, the founder of A. Lange Söhne in 1845. In 2020, for the 175th anniversary of A. Lange Söhne, they introduced 3 watches in Honeygold. It's the 1815 Thin, a classic two-hander watch. It was the turbograph perpetual calendar in Honeygold, and last but not least, this 1815 Rattrapante chronograph in Honeygold. Honeygold is A. Lange Söhne's own alloy for 18 karat gold. They claim it to be twice as hard as regular gold, so it's more scratch resistant and more resistant to dents. And the color is somewhere in between white gold and rose gold, but it's definitely not yellow. It really is the color of honey. What I find particularly interesting about this watch is the color combination of the black dial, which is made of silver, and the honeygold case. Then there is a pink gold hand, there's a white gold hand, there's rhodium steel hands, and there is gold plated hands. And the printing on the dial matches perfectly with the honeygold case. It's for the first time that Lange uses this layout for a chronograph, so 2 subdials, one at 12 and one at 6 o'clock. And according to Lange Söhne, it's their purest interpretation of the Rattrapante chronograph watch. In case you don't know, a Rattrapante chronograph is able to measure split seconds. So you push the start button at 2 o'clock and the chronograph hands will run. If you want to have an interval time, you press the pusher at 10 o'clock and one of the chronograph seconds hands will stop and the other will continue. If the other one needs to be resetted and run with the running chronograph seconds hand, you press the pusher at 10 o'clock once more and it's running again. If you want to stop, you just click the pusher at 2 o'clock, and if you want to reset, you click at 4 o'clock. One of the first things to notice when operating the chronograph is how smooth the pushes are. Pushing the start button just feels like butter. The same, of course, when you stop. Reset feels like there's a little bit more resistance, but also the pusher at 10 o'clock feels super smooth. As always with an A. Lange Söhne watch, the back side of the watch is at least as impressive as the front side of the watch. So on the back side of the watch, we'll have a view on the beautiful L101.2 movement. As you can see, and what I always find very impressive with watches from A. Lange Söhne, is the architecture of the movement. It really feels like you're looking at a 3D city of mechanical parts and movements, and everything works together flawlessly. It has 2 column wheels, one for the chronograph and one for the Rattrapante. It wears incredibly well on the wrist. I have 18 centimeter wrists and it's a beautiful watch. For me, it's not really a dress watch. I think it's a bit too bulky for that. But given the complication this watch has, it has an incredibly nice wrist presence. Although officially this might be considered to be a dress watch, I think it's a little bit too big for that and too thick. But it's a very refined and sophisticated watch that I really enjoyed wearing on my wrist. The watch is perfect for my 19 centimeters wrist, but I think also if you have smaller wrists or larger wrists, it has the perfect size. A lot of watch enthusiasts like to compare A. Lange Söhne to a brand like Patek Philippe. But compared to Patek Philippe, A. Lange Söhne's production number is much smaller. It's estimated to be between 5,000 and 6,000 watches per year, whereas Patek Philippe is probably between 50 and 60,000 watches per year. You will also find that the design of Lange Söhne is very different from Patek Philippe. It's much more robust, whether that's the design of the case, the dial, or the movement. it has a very different look and feel to it. Unfortunately, this A. Lange Söhne 1815 Rattrapante chronograph in Honeygold will never be mine. That has nothing to do with the fact that there will be only 100 of them, and it is said that you already need to be a client of A. Lange Söhne before you are able to purchase one, but it also has to do with a price tag of 132,200 euros. For me personally, there's only one Lange, which is the Lange one, that has been introduced in 1994 and that is still in the collection and that I consider to be an iconic watch from Glashütte. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to follow us and hit the notification bell, and see you next time.